Welcome to Fluido Moments, our podcast series where we will talk about what's it like to be a Fluidian, what we do every day, and what our culture is all about. This is your backstage pass to all things Fluido. Welcome to Fluido Moments. This is our podcast series of what we do at Fluido, how we work here, and a little bit about our culture and everything around that. And today we're here to talk about what it's like to work in an international environment such as Fluido. And my name is Pauliina Löyttö. You all know that. I'm head of people and culture here at Fluido. And I'm going to let you all introduce yourselves in just a second. But before we go there, thank you again for being here. And maybe we start with our out-of-towner guest. So that's you, Herman. If you could introduce yourself and tell me the story of how did you end up in Fluido?
Okay. Yes, my name is Herman Mejías Arellano. We also have like several fancy names on our full name. I came to Sweden like in 2016 because Felix, we have a mutual friend altogether, and he invited me to interview at Fluido. I have never had interaction before with the CEO, and that time Kai was still doing some interviews. So I had the chance to talk to Kai and join Fluido at that time in 2016. That's how I joined Fluido. Before I studied in Sweden. So that's why I knew kind of the country and I was used to the culture. It was a kind of an easy transition for me.
Yeah, so you had lived in Sweden for a while and then Fluido was then the reason for staying in Sweden then.
Yes, actually I studied 2 years here. In Stockholm, the master's degree. And I had to go back to Mexico for 4 years because I didn't found a job right away. I think I was not as lucky as you guys. And then Felix stayed here in the country, in Sweden, but he was about to leave the country because his visa expired. And then he was contacted by another person in Fluido. And then he started working there. And then like 6 months after that, he invited me to work here. So,
okay. All right. Yeah.
So it's a nice story of friendship because I studied with Felix, the master's degree.
Yeah. So for import by friend.
Yes, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. I remember when you started. Yeah. How long has it been exactly now?
3 years and 8 months, almost. Yes,
quite some time.
Yeah. I remember because it's my mom's birthday when I joined Fluido, August 15. Yeah.
So you can never forget.
No, she can never forget. Yes,
that's good.
I know.
All right, how about Alexandra? What's your story?
Well, I joined Fluido a little bit later than you did, and it was my birthday or close to my birthday.
Wow, nice.
So I will never forget that. But yeah, so my name is Alexandra, and I'm a marketing manager at Fluido, and I joined about less than 3 years ago, I think. And actually also I was interviewed by the CEO, so that was also a very kind of nice thing for me because that was something you don't really expect in companies that are kind of big. But yeah, I moved here to Finland originally from Russia, and I'm half Russian, half Ukrainian. And I came here to study as well. So I also studied together with Maya, but she'll probably tell about that later. And yeah, it was quite a similar thing as well, because I think I got to know about Fluido from one of my friends. And I also joined Fluido because of that. So it was more of a word of mouth type of thing. But I'm really happy that I've heard about the company because it's a great place to be in. It's a great place to work.
And how long have you been with us?
Yeah, I think it's almost, so I joined in May. So it's almost 3 years, a little bit less than that still.
Yeah, good. I also remember when you started. Yeah, it's still a small company, so we remember people. Yeah. And then last but not least, but Maya, what's your story? Although I know this one as well, but tell everyone else.
Yeah, I was just about to say that probably you remember when I started, because I started in your team, in People and Culture at Fluido. So I also came to Finland to study. I came from Vietnam, and I pretty much knew that I wanted to go abroad to study. And back in time, I think everybody in Vietnam had like the dreams to go to US or UK. And then I just figured I actually want to go to Europe. And Finland was very nice in the sense that they organized exams, like entrance exams, also in different countries. So I attended one in Vietnam, and then I got in. And so I came here to study. We were in the same group with Alexandra. And then after my studies, I started working right away, not in Helsinki region, but in Lappeenranta. I did almost 3 years of marketing. I was a marketing specialist in a quite small company. So we were like 5 people. And I come from the background that I'm more of a people person. I always wanted to kind of invest more in people and get to know people. And so then I thought that I wanted to have a change to somewhere where a company that kind of thinks more about the culture of the company and also takes care of the people. And I wanted to be part of that. So I started to ask around of a company with a great culture. What could it be? Could I join? And through Alexandra, I actually learned about Fluido. So that sounds like something I would want to be part of and want to learn from and contribute to. So that was almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I think I joined, almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, anniversaries coming up. Yeah, so what we have now represented in this podcast, we have Finland, that's me, and then Mexico, Vietnam, and Russia. So just 4 of us. But actually, we're over 40 different nationalities at Fluido, which is not really something we set out to do. People always ask me, did you look for this diversity and did you set out to have all of this? It's not something that was planned, but of course, it's a real competitive advantage, and a lot of good has come out from that, I think, from my perspective. But let me ask you guys, what does it mean for you to work in a diverse company? Does it mean anything special? We'll start with you, Herman, again.
Yes, absolutely. I think you and I talked about this 2 years ago, maybe, in the event organized by Salesforce in Stockholm.
Yeah, I remember.
And we were talking exactly about that topic and how important is the diversity for a company to grow in the market they are working, or to grow internally. There are 2 different things, and the diversity helps the company to grow from inside out instead of growing like let's grow not organically. You can leverage this diversity to use all the differences to become better as a company.
Yeah, I agree. And what we're doing in the end here is we're building end user solutions for our customers. And what better way to do that with 300 brains rather than just one? We can pull in all of that knowledge.
And building solutions could be, technical solutions could be a little bit dry. So, but with diversity could be much more interesting. As Maya, you said, like, I'm more biased to working with people than working with technology or marketing. Yes, that's exactly what diversity brings. So, that's...
Yeah, I agree. What about you guys? What about Alexandra? What does it mean for you?
I think it's having a circle of friends pretty much that you go to work to. And because of kind of what I do, I don't really have a big team, but then I work pretty much with everyone else in the company in different countries, different offices. And it's so amazing that every time I go to any of the offices, people, they smile, they greet me, they're being super nice, super friendly. And I feel like this is something, that I'm part of that is amazing. And also one thing that I kind of wanted to add up to your point, I mean, the solutions that we're making or our product is pretty much our people and their brains.
Mhm.
And that's why I think, especially like here in Finland, Fluido has a great advantage that we're able to get professionals from anywhere in the world, the ones who really know how to do Salesforce, the ones who really kind of have great amount of experience on different things. So I think that really adds up to the experience. And also having just those people within the company, for example, when we're expanding to new countries and you know that, okay, I already have the person from this country who could help with the local market knowledge. And that was just really, really nice. You don't have to go and look for external consultants or something like that.
Yeah, there's always someone to ask
Exactly,
from. Yeah. How about you, Maya? I think the distance that you have traveled, or I don't know which one's further, Mexico or Vietnam, but you both of you have traveled very far to get here.
I think it's 11,000 kilometers to Mexico.
Okay.
Oh God, I don't know. How is it from Vietnam? I think Finland is probably in the middle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry I brought that up, but you've come from very far away.
Yes.
So what does it mean for you to work?
Well, it's kind of interesting because I think that, you said that Fluido didn't set out to be an international company. And I think deep in my mind, I probably I kind of perceive people as people and don't really look at the different backgrounds right away. But then when you get to interact with them and work with them or just getting into discussions, you can see so many different views, so many different things, like such a large knowledge that you wouldn't probably think of if you're in that particular one community only. So I think, it brings out like big pool of knowledge. And then one thing that then I could also add to what Alexandra said, that even though we come from different countries, we come from different probably backgrounds, traditions, we might speak different languages, but actually it became quite cool that we are all kind of like-minded. We meet each other and we immediately kind of become colleagues, friends, and it seems like the world is one world and it's moving. It's not only like you and in your own country anymore. So I think it brings a different view on the world as well.
Yeah, and I always talk. We have this boot camp that's where all new employees go through, and one thing that I talk about there is respect. That we are such a colorful bunch of superheroes. I was going to say people, but superheroes, and you just have to respect the fact that we're all different and we're all good in our own way, and just to use that to your benefit. So I think you can get quite far with respect. But is it always easy, Maya? Can you remember any? Is it easy to be working with 40 different nationalities? Because I think you in your role touch a lot of different kind of people through your work.
Well, I think it's not hard. But sometimes there could be some different ways of communication, or then I'm not sure. I think this is pretty standard. But always, for example, the being on time is quite
yes.
different in different countries. So because I've been in Finland for quite long, I've pretty much, I remember the first time that when people are coming 5 minutes before the meeting and pretty much get very stressed that people are not there, it was a little bit weird for me, because for me, you just need to be on time. But then if you have the colleagues from other countries that might have a different understanding of the time, that if the meeting is at one, but it's okay to arrive. Everyone will arrive within first 15 minutes. Then you just have to figure out the way of communicating and make everybody to understand. Like, probably let's be on time. So like small things, and then I think my favorite one is like when people ask me when I start to chat with someone and they ask me how are you doing, and then for me is if people ask how are you doing, then I probably have to explain how I'm doing, how was the day and everything. But then if it's for the US, the person's from the US, and it's just like hello, yes. So those are the things that can be tricky sometimes.
Yeah. But it's also good to learn about those because we have every time we're having lunch with the colleagues, we're talking about all the different things from their countries. And it's every time I'm talking to someone, I learn something new about their culture. And that's great because, I mean, that's invaluable in your life when you want to work internationally. So that's really nice.
I think Paulina was having this idea since the beginning of making this company multicultural. I don't think she could survive more Christmas dinners on the sauna with Kai and Aki. Right, Paulina? Now you have a fiesta every week. Like,
there you go. If maybe it is that we set out to do a cultural or international environment just because of that. Maybe you're absolutely right.
Unconsciously, you were aiming for that.
Yes. I get to have a tequila party this week, and then we have those international days or evenings where people present their culture and we eat different foods. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
You still have those. Here.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
I think we are falling a little bit behind on that in Sweden, but we will ramp up this year.
Yes. So what do you guys do? What's it?
I don't know Since now we are split in two offices, one in Stockholm and one in Gothenburg, is a little bit difficult to put like all the energy together. Before, when we were only one office, it was once every 2 months, maybe.
So what happened?
One cultural day every 2 months. I don't know. Maybe a lot of projects. We don't have that split of time to come up with
I think, well, that's the thing. A lot of the time people say cultural things just happen, but you need to put a little effort in.
Absolutely.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
But I think the Gothenburg office is now at the sweet spot because then you don't have a debate. So which country are we going to present this time? Because I think here in Espoo, sometimes when we have this, then we have to kind of prioritize. So which country is going to present this time? There are so many different countries that might want to get a spot.
But it's good that we also have the food here because then somebody could have a presentation. Then we always have the tiramisu and everything. So it's kind of it's a five-dimensional experience.
Yes, Team Italy delivers with their tiramisu. Yes, and India is well represented with all excellent.
How is Mexico doing?
Mexico, did we have?
We had, I think, in the first one we've had.
Yeah, Mexican food
and presentation.
And presentation too, yes. We've had food from Vietnam and presentation also. And we have had food from Finland also. Yeah. We have grilled some Finnish sausages on the balcony. People love those. Yeah, so we've had that. Yeah. So actually now, the last question I'm going to ask all of you, time goes by so fast, is your Fluido moment. We've had a few of these podcast sessions now, and nobody has been able to say just one. So let's see if this.
What do you mean, like no?
So
no
we
one
can
has.
We can have more than one.
Well, everybody has had more than one up until now. So, Herman, if you had to choose one moment that kind of shows what it's like to be Fluidian, to be at Fluido, that encompasses what is Fluido, what's that moment for you, your Fluido moment?
Well, it has to be related. For me, it's always work must be fun. as one of our values. And when we were just a small office in Stockholm, we get maybe 3 hires a year. And this time Elena came and she was just recently hired. And we had kind of fika for her to welcome her and everything. It was really easy that time because it was only her. And then I don't remember what happened, but then, as always, Mexico come to the table somehow. And then I said, oh, those Mexicans are always everywhere. And then Elena said like, oh my God, this guy is not politically correct. She didn't even know that I was from Mexico. I said, it's fine, no worries. And everybody laughed at the table except Elena, because Elena was super worried that I was making kind of not PC joke. So yeah, for me, work must be fun. And that was my Fluido moment. I don't think she remembers.
Oh,
she was probably a little bit upset.
Now she will hear this and she will remember.
Oh, she? Okay. She will be here. Oh, nice.
Yeah, no, she will hear this and
okay, yeah. Okay.
She will remember it then, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How about Maya? What's your Fluido moment?
So, well, it's more like maybe moments. I think I have a lot of different moments, but these are the moments that I think that I do cherish the most, is that because I work with recruitment. Sometimes I get to call a candidate and say, I have great news. And I think that's the moment that I feel like first I'm delivering a very good news to the person. And then I also know that I'm inviting the person to the company that they will feel like they belong to. And usually it's probably also dearer to my heart is that when I'm calling somebody who is, let's say, in Finland and is a foreigner, because there are discussions that it's a little bit harder to find work in Finland if you don't speak Finnish. It's true, but then at the same time, I think everybody deserves an opportunity, and then that's the moment that I feel the best. I think when I let them know that, well, welcome to Fluido.
Yeah, you can make somebody happy. And yeah, I love that one story where you had to deliver bad news for that person, remember?
Yeah.
First. And then how did that go?
So the person was working at the restaurant back in time. And I was just like, well, yes, I'm sorry. I have bad news for you. And then I suppose that was perceived like very bad news. But then I said that, well, you have to leave your current employment. And yeah, that's one of the favorite moments.
Yeah, and he's a colleague here now. So I thought that was a fun story.
Yeah. Also a new not a new nationality, but a different nationality, I suppose. Yeah.
All right. How about you, Alexandra?
Yeah, I think my Fluido moment, well, I've had many of them as well, but I think the brightest one has lasted for the whole week. So we've last year we had this pilot of the vitamin D camp, which is pretty much a self-organized group where you go with colleagues and kind of work remotely. And that was, I think, the greatest Fluido moment for me, because we kind of didn't talk to each other before that much, but then, and we were from all different cultures, but because of the Fluido values and the way Fluido is as a company, it just worked so well for us that we were able to do whatever else somebody wants to do. We're able to collaborate, work together, and it just felt like we're a team. So in a way, I think that was, in addition to the great sun of Spain, of course, but that was really kind of...
You were in Spain.
Yeah, we were in Spain. Yeah.
I think all the planets in the solar system are pointing towards opening an office in Spain.
Yeah.
Right, Kai?
That sounds like a business plan right there. Yes.
I think Aki will be thrilled about this as well. All the Spanish speakers.
Of course, definitely. That's why we also have a group here, I think, that's practicing Spanish for the ones who are interested.
Seriously, you have a
we do. Yeah.
Sprock Cafe or something like that?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. language cafe for those
Language
who
cafe.
don't
Yeah,
speak
yeah.
Swedish.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you sound
Very
like you're
Swedish.
getting the Swedish down.
A little bit.
Yeah. Okay, we've talked about working with all these different cultures, but what's it like working with Nordic people? I mean, Fluido is a Nordic company.
Yeah, so well, I have like kind of like fun story to tell about this. Maybe that sometimes in the interviews when you get to ask the standard question, what your colleague or what would your team lead tell about you, then some people usually say that well, I'm a very hardworking person, which I think a lot of people do say, and then there were sometimes they even say like, I didn't take any holidays the last year, that I'm that hardworking. And then I think then in the Nordics, you would say like, well, it's good that you're so hardworking, but probably we would also want you to take care of yourself, and work-life balance is very important in our company. And we would kindly ask you to take care of yourself and also take some holidays just to have a rest. You can learn something, but it's important to also take care of yourself, not only work all the time. I think that's quite different in the Nordics comparing to some other countries, I think.
Yeah.
And it's also based, what we discussed, based on trust, because then you start to realize when you're most productive, and then you're able to work at your own pace. It doesn't mean that you have to sit in the office like in some countries from 9 to 5 or even longer, but it's just you can make your work flow the best for yourself and be the most productive and the best for your colleagues as well.
Yes, in the Nordics, it's about the results.
Yeah, exactly.
The end results that actually grade you how good you are or how committed you are to the company. In other countries is for being like that, to be considered a really good employee or a really good expert, you need to be there before your boss and leave after your boss.
Yes.
It's not even 9 to 5.
Yeah.
It's something more like that. Good thing in the Nordics is not that way.
All right. So the last thing, we actually have a website for our podcast, fluidomoments.com. So please make sure to visit that to see this podcast and others as well, and different clips. Thank you very much again for all of you guys for taking the time to be here. And it was a really interesting conversation. We couldn't have gone forever.
Yes.
Yeah.